Uncorked in conversation, where the stories start flowing. Ashley and Dawn keep the good vibes going. Grab your moment, take a sip, tune in. Uncorked in conversation, let's begin.
I'm Ashley Martin. I'm here with my co-host, Dawn, and we're in Blytheville, Arkansas this time.
Yeah.
And our two guests are Rudy Smith and Jeff Cunningham. We're so happy to have you on the podcast. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for having us.
And we have to ask, what are you drinking?
Pinot Noir.
I'm going to say Pinot Noir as well.
Clearly we forgot, but that's okay. That's all right. We're all having wine today.
Yes.
So I hope as you're listening, you are also maybe enjoying yourself as well.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So you both have had long careers here at NIBCO. So one of the things, we asked our previous guests is if they weren't working at NIBCO or doing what they're doing, what other career path, what other choice would you have made? So I would like to hear, what other careers were you thinking about?
I've always wanted to own my own business. That was always my dream. But started a family when I was young and needed to have steady income. So best thing that happened was I found NIBCO and found NIBCO about 30 years ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jeff?
Well, about the first job that I got out of college was I worked for a boat manufacturer. It was a runabout boat manufacturer, made ski boats and runabouts, and fell in love with it. I thought it was the perfect job out of college. I got to test the boats during the day on the lake.
That's the fun part.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I was on the R&D team, so we were developing the hulls for the boats. And the perk of being on the team was you got to go pick the boat you wanted to use that weekend.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. So I was really popular with my family and friends for a while because I always had a new boat.
I can see why.
Absolutely. And as about my second year in, I started really thinking about being a naval architect. And I thought that would be really cool if I could be a naval architect. About that time, the first Gulf War happened, and boat sales went through the floor. It was a luxury item, and I was laid off. But I was lucky enough to be picked up by a company called Skeeter Bass Boats. They're in Kilgore, Texas. And that was another really, really fun job. And the person that I worked for was a naval architect, and he encouraged me. But lo and behold, another recession came around, and the boat industry tanked once more. And my wife suggested that I get out of the business. So I found a different job, and we moved back to Little Rock, Arkansas, and I went to work for a bath and shower manufacturer, and that's where I stayed for 22 years.
Wonderful. And Rudy, I know you've had a long career at NIBCO, so can you kind of go through your jobs that you've had at NIBCO and positions, and how did you end up where you are now?
And places you've lived.
I started off working at our corporate office in Elkhart, Indiana, and I lived in Edwardsburg, Michigan. When I worked at corporate, we were not located in the corporate office. We were at 700 Beardsley in a remote office while we were remodeling corporate, which was kind of cool. So that was my introduction to NIBCO. I worked 2 years at corporate, and then from there I transferred to Nacogdoches, Texas as the operations manager. And I worked in Nacogdoches, Texas for 4 years. Then from Nacogdoches, Texas, I moved on to Reynosa, Mexico, and McAllen, Texas. I was the plant superintendent. And then from there, I was promoted to the plant manager role. About 2 years later, I took the responsibility of Nacogdoches and Reynosa, McAllen. Did that for about 7 years, where I spent every other week in each location. And then from there, I moved into a senior plant manager role. And now I've been promoted to vice president of valve manufacturing.
Wonderful. So based on your locations, I'm going to say you don't like winter very much.
I've had enough snow. People always ask me when I left the Elkhart area, they said, "Aren't you going to miss it?" I said, probably not. I said, I've got 35 years of snow shoveling. I'm good.
Right.
I was
You
great.
did your time.
One of the
Yeah.
best days
Go
was
ahead.
when we were moving, had a neighbor. He asked, hey, what are you going to do with that snowblower? My gift to you. You enjoy this.
Fantastic.
You enjoy this.
Yeah.
Because we used to go snowmobiling and things. He had the snowmobile. I thought, that's the least I could do. I'll give you my snowblower.
What a nice parting gift.
Exactly.
Yeah. I have a question for Rudy. So you said you would have owned your own business.
Mhm.
What type of business?
Well, I was not sure. This was a dream when I was a child, right? It was like,
Okay.
you look back on notes that you made in high school and things. And one of those, it was, well, I was going to own my own business. Well, I kind of do. I don't own my own business, but I run a business. And I run a
Yes.
business to try to make it profitable because we all
Mhm.
share in those profits.
Mhm.
So it's similar to that.
Yeah.
I just don't have as much skin in the game as if I was the owner.
But you
Right?
are an owner.
I am an owner of the
Absolutely
company.
are an owner.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
So your dream did come true.
I live the dream every day, dog.
Same. Cheers to that, Rudy. This question is for Jeff. What does a really good day in the plant look like?
Well, that's a really good question. As a plant manager, you are responsible for everybody in that facility. So to me, the very first thing that you want to make sure is everybody is safe. So every morning, there's a walkthrough, and every morning there is a start out meeting. So for me, what we want to do is make sure that everybody is safe to begin with. And then we look at really the four areas that every plant manager is responsible for. That's safety, that's quality, that's delivery, and that's cost. And so a really good day is all of those are working together. And at the end of the day, everybody leaves safe.
Yeah. Safety is our number one core value. So I
Absolutely.
like that you lead off with that. How do you, what is your expectation for knowing when there's safety concerns? So in other words, do you expect associates to bring those to you? Is there a team that goes around and looks for potential things that aren't safe? Or what are your expectations for making sure we maintain that safe environment for all associates?
Yeah, in reality, all of those things. We have a wonderful safety committee. Yeah, we have about 13 or 14 members in that safety committee now. Each one of those members are in different departments, and I rely on them. They do weekly checks, and they're my eyes and ears throughout. We have a very large facility, as you know, as we just walked through, and I can't be in all places all the time.
Right.
But we have great people that know what safety is, and they're assuring that it's happening. And then we discuss those issues weekly, as well as a monthly meeting for us to learn lessons from one department to another, and then also to understand where near misses or problems may have occurred so we can correct them before they become a larger issue.
Mm-hmm. So if I'm listening to what you're saying, it sounds like this safety committee is cross-functional.
Definitely
Associates from
cross-functional.
different departments, maybe different buildings that come together.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that we wanted to do was we wanted to have our safety committee represent all of the areas of our facilities. We have three major or large buildings that we have to cover. And then pretty soon we're going to have a fourth. So we want to continue to grow that. But between the safety committee, and then we also just hired recently two great associates in our safety department. So we have wonderful safety techs right now. They're really performing at a high level, and they're able to take our safety to a different level. I'm very, very, very pleased with where they're at right now.
How many associates in all 4 of your buildings do you have?
So we're in about the 260 range right now. And that's a good size number. We could be, if we had full employment, be up closer to 290. But we are making it work at 260.
And what shifts? Do you run all shifts? Do you just run your first shift? What does that look like?
So the majority of our manufacturing is done on first shift. We have a lighter second shift where we are dedicating our resources to where we need them, the higher volume items, especially in rubber mold and assembly. Our third shift is dedicated just to preventative maintenance, and so that we're sure that when we fire up every day, everything is working right.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Rudy, you've been in the plants for 30 plus years now. What is the biggest lesson you've learned from our frontline workers?
You know, it's a lesson that was actually given to us from your grandfather, that, the best product of NIBCO is a good
Mhm.
person. And the people of NIBCO are what make us successful. So I learn from the people every day on what can we do to make things better for them. And it's outstanding when you can have that rapport with people. Expounding on what Jeff talked about safety. We count on our people to tell us because we can't see everything. And I challenge the leaders to go around and look for where could the next accident be, because we don't want to be reactive. We want to be proactive, and we want to try to limit the exposure for our associates.
That's great. And continuous improvement is another one of our core values
Mhm.
too. So it goes along perfectly with that too.
Exactly.
So you, brought up my grandfather, and I know you worked with Rex, and
Mhm.
I know you've worked with me. So I'm going to ask you the question we asked Todd last week, who he avoided very skillfully, I just want to say. But I don't want to say who have you enjoyed working with, but I guess talk about, because a lot of our listeners didn't get to work with Lee,
Mhm.
or newer associates wouldn't have worked with Rex. So talk a little bit about some of those stories that you have from the past.
Okay. My experience with Lee was very limited when I was at corporate because he was at the end of his career, but he still had an office at Eastside.
Yes.
And I actually pillaged Eastside for some furniture that I was able to take to the Nacogdoches plant. And that is still my desk in Reynosa.
Oh,
And that was a desk
I love
that
that.
he had at the facility at Eastside.
Oh, that's a wonderful story. I
Yeah.
never would have known that.
And now your dad, I loved working with your dad. I mean, the experiences that just being able to talk to him and have those conversations just about life experiences was so much fun.
Mhm.
And he was just a great leader. He's just a great person. And then I harken back to the people that I've known in my NIBCO career that literally worked with him on the floor in Colorado.
Yes.
And it's so awesome to hear that what a great person he was, and he's still the same person. And
Yeah.
now I get to be under your leadership today, and I didn't report directly to Rex, but I report directly
Right.
to you, and I've enjoyed that. I really have. It's been a great experience.
I've enjoyed it too. I've learned a lot from you,
Yeah.
and definitely more about our manufacturing and our processes that we have in place. So thank you. I really do
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
Yeah. I have a question for Jeff. What is your proudest moment that you've had since being the plant manager here in Blytheville?
Yeah, I could tell you there's been so many proud moments. But the one that's really sticking out of my mind right now is, it was a year or so ago, we had the board of directors visit
Mhm.
us. It was the first time the board of directors has been in this facility since I've been plant manager. And I had a chance to see my team shine.
Mhm.
And they prepared so well for that particular event, and they were so proud to talk about what they do, and they were so happy to know that there is a future here in Blytheville. I couldn't have been more prouder of my team at that time. Yeah.
Mhm. I would definitely agree with just the experience and the way that your team handled it. I was here. I got to be here for that meeting, and I was on the tour, and I definitely echo that. You could just see their faces. They were, when we stopped as a group in front of them in their area, they were so proud to talk about what they do, improvements that have already been made, what's needed, right, for us to move into the future.
Absolutely.
And they executed it so well. I mean, very well, because all this capital is coming this way, right, and continues
Absolutely.
to come. And so
Yes.
the board did approve that. So that passion seen through your associate made a huge impact on the board.
Yeah, great
Well,
word,
That's a
passion.
great example.
And that's why we wanted to come to Blytheville.
Mhm.
One, because we are spending a bunch of money, and I did want to see what we're spending all the money on. But also to be able to talk with all of our associates about what are we doing here in Blytheville? What is changing? How are we improving things? So can you go over some of the improvements that we have made?
Oh yeah, I'd love to. I mean, there's so many things that have transpired over the last year and a half. I mean, we really started with looking at how we can meet our strategic long-range plan and also the policy deployment. And that's really driven our passion into what we're doing today. So just to kind of give a laundry list of things that we've done over the last year is we really started where we needed to, and that was in the foundry. And the foundry has equipment that's at the end of their life cycle, and it's just time to update them. And if we want to stay competitive, that was necessary. And I can't thank you, Ashley, and I can't thank the board enough for you all to believe in us that we can take our products to the next level. And that's what excites me, and that's what excites really our team. And some of those projects are, well, we kind of looked at them today during the plant tour, and that is we've replaced things from mullers to our bag house, even to our cranes, to we're getting ready to put in a new molding line. We'll be putting in a new furnace system. We have invested in our rubber mold machines, which are key to us to being able to continue to increase the number of valves, especially LD-WD butterfly valves, which is so important to our growth right now. We have new equipment coming into our assembly areas, which will then also allow us to produce more valves and produce them at a higher quality level. We've invested in our facilities so that we can make sure that our associates are proud to come to work every day. We've invested all the way down to the restrooms.
They look beautiful, by the way. Absolutely fabulous.
Hey, we're doing that at corporate too. We're changing our bathrooms because I didn't
It's
like them.
important,
They were like from
yes.
the 50s. We work in the plumbing industry. We need to have nice bathrooms.
Exactly.
Amen to that. And like I think we're getting rave reviews from our associates that they're loving the facts that we're putting the effort into this. We've upgraded our break areas.
Yeah.
We're continuing to do more work there. We've put a lot of effort and time. Security is a big part of what we're doing too. We're putting more security in our facilities to make sure our folks feel safe. We're doing it in our distribution centers. We've put checks and balances throughout our facility, including a new guard shack. So I think that the people who come to work here can be proud of it and can feel safe.
Yeah, we definitely want both of those things. But so people want to know, how much are you going to spend and how much have we spent so far?
Wonderful question. So, overall, we believe that we're going to be in the $30 million range. And right now we're on track to that. 18 of that we're earmarking for the foundry, and then the balance would be throughout the rest of that facility. We're in the $8 to $9 million range right now, I would say. That's an ever-changing amount because we have so many projects in the pipeline right now. But I think that's a good, fair number, and we'll probably spend $6 or $7 million in 2026.
Thank you. And the board did just approve a big spend for you, a capital. And what is that project?
Yeah, it's really the heart of the foundry. This is our power supplies that provide for the melting of our material, melting of our iron. So without it, nothing else works right. And we're at the end of that life cycle. It's a major investment. It's around $6.5 million investment, but it's necessary. And it will allow us to compete with the world. We'll be able to be very efficient in the melt. We'll be very efficient in the molding. We'll be very efficient in the cleaning of the castings. That will allow us to produce so many more valve bodies and components than we do today.
And we are very proud that we are American manufacturer and we want to stay here, and we are committed to that. And that's what we are showing by, these investments here in Blytheville and in all of our facilities, right? But we are very committed. We want to be an American manufacturer.
Proud. Very proud.
Executing the vision
Exactly.
that you've provided.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. Okay, Rudy, question for you. What machine or process at the plant do you secretly think is the coolest?
We've done some very cool things over the years, but the one that I'm most excited about is the new molding line that we're going to install in Blytheville. We've never installed a new molding line in my career at NIBCO. So it's
At
going to be
any of the facilities?
at any of the facilities. We've had those
Oh.
lines existing
Already there.
where I worked. So
Okay.
it's so exciting what we're doing in Blytheville. I can't wait. And
And when is that going in?
it will be going in a month from now.
Oh,
And it will take
that's come up
about 8
quickly.
weeks. It will take
Okay.
about 8 weeks, and then we'll be complete. And then we'll run it off, and we'll start producing. And that's something we haven't been able to do since I've been the VP of manufacturing.
Aw.
And it's so exciting.
That is exciting.
It is.
Yes. Now, will that require any downtime?
It is. That's the 8
Okay.
weeks that I was talking about, Dawn.
Okay.
And we've built ahead on inventory because there's
course you
certain things
have.
that we know we
fantastic.
can't make during that time.
Right.
So we've got to have them.
You planned ahead for
We've
that.
planned ahead double the time because we don't know exactly what our customers are going to buy. Nobody does.
Right.
So we're trying to anticipate their needs and be as prepared as possible.
Right.
So,
Wonderful.
I like to travel to our plants and facilities and see everyone. What's the, one thing I could do to just annoy everyone when I visit? Not that I want to do, but that I would maybe accidentally do to annoy people.
Actually, I don't know that you could really annoy me that much. but if you were to travel down to Reynosa and you traveled through McAllen to get to Reynosa and you didn't bring your passport, that is a problem.
That's a big, big problem.
Okay, that is a problem, and I have a story about this. This is a true story, by the way. It's funny that that's your answer, Rudy, because I clearly annoyed you, or I would have annoyed you. Ashley and I were coming down for our 120th, and got to the plane, didn't think anything about this. I'm just like, we're just going on a work trip. I'm literally seated on the plane. The plane is getting ready to disembark. And the question was asked, you both have your passports, correct? And I was like, wait, what? No. And
I was there for this.
Ashley
I
was
was
like, yes,
there.
of course I have mine. And I'm like, I do not have mine. We need it. And she's like, we're going to Mexico. You're going to need it. And so she's like, you might be able to get through, but you won't be able to come back home. So literally I had to get off the plane, drive home, get my passport, go back to the plane. And all was well. I made it. But that is hilarious that that's your
But
answer
you
because
I would have
Probably.
never known.
You probably noticed we were a little later than we were supposed to be that
You
trip.
were.
So truth is, people do say I annoy, and clearly I do. Cheers to that.
We all make mistakes, right?
Stuff happens.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But if that's the worst thing that happens in a day, it's really not that bad.
It's going to be a good day.
Right.
Absolutely. It worked out. I was able to get my passport and enjoy the festivities with Reynosa.
We can adapt and overcome.
It was good, yes. Okay, as Chief People Officer, there is a specific phrase that I say probably at least 5 times a day. And I have to presume my team probably says this as well. And that is people be peoplein'. And so I'm curious, as leaders of a plant, what's the one phrase that you find yourself saying multiple times a day?
Jeff?
No one wants to answer this question.
Did you hear the silence in the air? Well, I would say the one that keeps going through my mind would be who does that?
Well,
And it happens every day.
because people be people, and that's
People
what
be people.
Exactly.
Rudy?
I mean, the people be peoplein' is
Yeah.
where I'm at. I mean, it happens every
Okay.
day. But we love our people.
Yes,
And
we
we
do.
work with everybody, but we understand. Everybody's got different challenges.
absolutely.
Everybody has different ideas.
Yep.
There's no dumb ideas.
Right.
But people be peoplein'.
Yes, like I said, we all make mistakes
Yes.
sometimes, so it happens.
Growth
I get it.
opportunities, yes.
Well, I appreciate you having us down to Blytheville so we could take a tour and see where we spend all the money right
Mhm.
now. And I know the board will want to come back here soon to see it too, but I just appreciate you having us down and talking about it with all of our associates. So we can all understand that we are committed to being American manufacturer here. So very excited for the future, and thank you both so much.
Yes,
You're
thank
welcome.
you.
Yeah, thank you all.
Join us next month on Uncorked in Conversation when we sit down with Steve Mom, Executive Chairman of NIBCO.